With one of the worst off seasons in recent history, somehow the Cowboys have managed to pull out an 8-3 season thus far. What's going on, YouTube? It's your main man, Boys for Life, coming at you with another video. Got my Suck My Dak shirt on. My own very own label that I got right here that I made. But anyway, let's talk about it. The Dallas Cowboys are sitting at 8-3. Even though we had one of the worst offseasons in recent history, somehow we're managing to stay strong within this NFC East, within the NFC East, and within the NFC as a whole, and even the NFL. You know, all looked grim, all looked bleak when we were playing that first game and we lost 19-3. Sunday night, Dak goes out. You know, Tom Brady, granted, he only threw one touchdown, but we still lost 19-3. It looked like this offense couldn't move the ball. It looked like the season was over. Amari Cooper, was the piece that we needed to keep moving. He's gone. CD didn't look like a true number one at the time. Gallup was still out. All looked like the season was over once Dak went down. Tony, doing his thing. Zeke doing his thing. They were averaging almost 5.5 yards a carry. Both of them were. But, Dak goes down. All is lost. Grim. It's a sad day for the Dallas Cowboys and the fans as a whole, thinking we're about to have a top 10, possibly top 5 pick. Insert Cooper Rush a week later. Dallas Cowboys are 1-1. Dallas Cowboys are 2-1. Dallas Cowboys are 3-1, 4-1. And then they go out and play the Eagles. End up losing, I get it. Got a backup quarterback. Hasn't really been asked to do much because this run game is doing what it needs to do. When you are able to have your defense step up to the plate the way that it did during that time span and have your rushing attack step up as well, while your quarterback, who's only throwing about 150, 75 yards a game, 200 yards a game on anywhere between, because he threw 16, he dropped back 16 times at one point. Anywhere from 16 to 25 times for Cooper Rush. Having our defense step up like that was huge for us. Having our run game step up, the emergence of Tony Pollard, it was tremendously amazing to watch that man do what he's done thus far. Fast forward after the Eagles game, you get Dak back. Looks a little off against the Lions. Pulls out the victory. Because we were basically scoring at will against the Bears, it did tire out our offense, which thus led the Bears to score a little bit more points. It happens. Then you go up and you play the Green Bay Packers. Bad game. But the only good thing that we saw coming out of that was the emergence of CD Lamb. CD Lamb that game had 11 catches for 150 yards. I know I had him in fantasy. I have him in fantasy. And after that, it seems like, it's the CD Lamb show. With 104 targets, on pace for 151. 9 catches a game. 9 targets a game. Excuse me. On average. 857 yards. We're 143 yards away from getting 1,000 yards for CeeDee Lamb, which it's very doable this upcoming game and even the game after that. Within the next 2 games, he should be at 1,000 yards. Look, there's no way that we should be where we're at right now with the kind of offseason that we had. Or actually, I should say the kind of offseason that a lot of Cowboy fans said we had. Let's get one thing straight. A lot of Cowboy fans were giving Jerry Jones, Stephen Jones a lot of ish because we weren't getting big names. We weren't getting Von Miller. We weren't going after, who else was out there? Big name wide receivers that were out there. Just like what the Eagles did. Trading picks, trading capital for players. I shouldn't say we, but most Cowboy fans thought that we were going to be a very average team. Or below average. And especially when Dak goes down at the first game, like I said, all hope was lost for a lot of Cowboy fans. Even me, when I saw that happen. As much as Dak isn't my guy, and I don't like him too much, because of the style of play that Kellen Moore tries to project on him when he's not, supposed to be dropping back 40-something times, 35 times a game. I'm very content and very happy when Dak drops back anywhere from 20 to 27 times, anywhere from 200 to 275 yards a game, a touchdown or two. You sprinkle in the run, or you have a heavy dose of run game, and you let the defense do their thing. That's when Dak Prescott is at his best, and that's when I like him. Not when the game is meant to be put on, not when the game is put on his shoulders and he is to carry us to victory. More often than not, we lose those type of games. I'm very content with Dak being the quarterback, staying within himself and being the quarterback that he needs to be. Not being the quarterback that everyone wants him to be. The Cowboys are sitting at an 8-3 record, 2.5 games behind the Eagles down the stretch. And this is a very scary stretch. This can go one of two ways. One of two ways. We can go ahead and beat the Colts this Sunday night. We can beat the Jaguars, beat the Texans, then Jaguars, and then we got the Eagles. Listen, if the Eagles lose a game anywhere in these next 3 games before they play us, and we're on a 3-game win streak, and we meet head-to-head, and we end up beating them, and we end up with the same record, both at what we're right now, 11-3 or 12-3 at that point. If we're both 12-3 on Christmas Day or Christmas Eve night, if we're both 12-3 Christmas Eve night, you know who's in first place? The Dallas Cowboys. The Dallas Cowboys would be in first place. And all it takes is 2 losses. A loss by the Cowboys and any game before or after the Cowboys. Granted, that's if the Cowboys are winning. So, with that being said, guys, we have a tall task ahead of us. We have a great stretch. We got a tough stretch down the road. Not because of the teams we're playing, but because of the implications of what can happen in the coming weeks. This is going to be a very, very hard-fought test for us. And if we come out on top, whether we're in first place or we're in that 5th slot as far as wild card goes, if we come out and do our thing, because we can only control what we can control. If we come out and do our thing, we win our games, we beat the Titans, we win every game between that. This Cowboys team, this Cowboys defense, this offense, and if you add in an OBJ, because he is coming to town Monday, if you add him in, this is going to be a very scary team to go up against. If we catch fire at the right time, whether it's now or the Eagles game moving forward, you catch wind at the fire at the right time, there's no way that you don't see the Cowboys making a deep playoff run. Now, of course, this is all just me talking. The Cowboys got to go over there and prove me right. But majority of the time, a lot of the things that I say, I'm right. Just things need to happen for this to come true. And I believe it will. We just got to see what happens Sunday night against the Indianapolis Colts in Jerry World. But guys, that's all I got. Make sure you tune in tonight. I got a live, 9 o'clock. I'm going to have an all-night live Gonna be a 12-hour. You know, it's gonna be a long night. I'm gonna be cooking brisket, getting ready for Sunday for football. It's gonna be a fun time. But anyways, guys, that's all I got. I'm out. Peace.